Hello again guys, and welcome back to the Dungeon Forge. My name is Imperator, and for today we are going to be featuring Magnus the Red, the Demon Primarch of the Thousand Suns, Primarch as well, serving under Tzeentch, and basically one of the strongest psychers in the Warhammer 40k universe. Now, before I start, I do want to apologize. I've been busy. I haven't been able to upload full videos since I'm actually working on my backlog of models, as well as doing a bit of renovating on the studio. But I'll try to be more consistent with some of my next videos. Do have a lot of other Titanic figures I want to feature. So yeah, going back here, so this is the model of Magnus. Actually, this is the first Primarch model that was released by Games Workshop, or first modern iteration of the Primarchs that was released by Games Workshop. He was released a couple years back. I think the ongoing conflict, it was against the Space Wolves, and that conflict ended in him being able to essentially use the planet of the Space Wolves to bring his planet back into real space, and has been up to no good ever since. But going back to the model itself, it's a impressive model, a huge model. Actually, if we're gonna compare it to the other Primarch models, the Demon ones, I think is the tallest, including the wingspan. I'll do a bit of size comparison later with other models, not the Primarchs, or not my Primarch, since I'm still working on some of them. But yeah, I'll give you an idea on how big he is. Otherwise, some additional lore dump on him. Well, he is again a psyker. He's actually, in terms of the lore, he was intended to be the guy who is going to be interred in the Golden Throne, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, heresy, or the Horus Heresy, happened, and shenanigans, and that ended up with the Emperor being placed on the throne itself. Originally, he was going to be the one sitting on it, but other than that, he's actually being portrayed in the books as an arrogant guy. It's actually because of him being so arrogant and a know-it-all that he ended up being tricked by Tzeentch into serving him. So that's what I know about him. There's a lot of stuff with his lore. Actually, I think there's, in terms of the lore itself, he was originally also gonna be the one to lead the Grey Knights and stuff. Spoilers. Well, the books have been released for a couple of years now, so I don't think that's much of a spoiler. But yeah, that's it. Again, is an impressive model. Actually, I did made a bit of a concession with the model itself for some changes. Originally, that orb in his hand, it's actually attached to his weapon. But I was kind of looking at it, and I was thinking that his hand stretching out doing nothing is kind of boring, so I instead put the orb there just to add a bit of touch on the model. Also, in addition, this model, actually, I did a bit of retouching on it. I've already painted him a while back, but I've decided to retouch him, change some colors, and now we have it here. Although there's still a bit of retouching that I do want to do, especially with the part on the wings and whatnot, but that's gonna be in the future. For now, he's good as it is. Base has been set up, and he's looking good. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing some basic size comparisons now. First up here is a Terminator from my Space Hulk collection. Actually, it's one of my backlogs. Now you can see the size difference is just big. Again, Magnus is a very big model. If I'm not mistaken, I think his Horus Heresy, his 30k model, is also quite huge. Not as huge as his 40k now, but still a huge model. Lore-wise, is one of the tallest Primarchs. So yeah, next model that I'll have here displayed is gonna be a Leviathan Dreadnought. This Leviathan Dreadnought, it's not actually an official model. This is a 3D printed one, FDM print. I normally would buy FDM printed models just to do some tests in painting them and just to figure out how we're gonna approach painting a real one. I'll be planning to get a real one in the future, but for now we have this Leviathan Dreadnought 3D printed for scale. Massive model, but again, Magnus is a very big one. So next one is gonna be my Earth Shaker Cannon from the Krieg. It's also one of the bigger models, but Magnus still towers over it, no question. Also, this model is 3D printed as well. Actually, this one, Leviathan, and my Knight are all FDM printed models. If you're gonna, if you're gonna look closer, you're gonna see the FDM lines. Try to get rid of them, but that's really one of the things about FDM printers. I think the newer ones do have better quality. So next model is actually gonna be my Knight, the 3D printed Knight as well. Now, size comparison, this time you can see the Knight is definitely bulkier. It's relatively bigger if you're gonna look at it overall. Magnus is just taller. Again, that's due to the wingspan of his model. His other wing is like stretched out, but otherwise the Knight is overall a bigger model still. And Magnus, and yeah, my Knight is still not finished. Hopefully I'll finish it soon. So next one is gonna be my other Knight, my Acasis Knight Forifian. I featured this model before. So this again is one of the biggest Knight models alongside its brother, the Forifian. I actually have a Forifian that has not yet been assembled. Haven't gotten the time. Again, it's one of my backlogs actually. But yeah, this is one of the taller Titans. This is closest to, taller Knights. It's actually closest to Titans. I think almost as big as the Warhound, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this one definitely you can see the size difference. So next one is gonna be my D&D model. This is the Colossal Red Dragon, one of the more older models that I've got. But this one is still definitely way bigger than Magnus, one of my more impressive models. Actually, it's I think my second or third biggest models. I do have a lot of backlogs that I need to look into so that I can do some decent size comparisons. But yeah, this one, no question, the Colossal Red Dragon is bigger. So after this one, of course, we are going to be featuring the last model, the Warlord Titan, the biggest model that I do have here in my studio. Fun fact, I've actually been posting some updates about some of the accessories that I have for the Titan. I actually have all the heads and some additional weapons that I'm currently working on as well as part of the backlog. I'll post some videos on those. But yeah, just going back to this one, the model is still impressive if you're gonna compare it to the Titan. Magnus is a really big model all in all. So yeah, that's actually about it. Just wanted you to see Magnus in all his glory. He's not yet fully finished, he's just slightly done. I do want to do a bit more on the wings, on the armor a bit, and also maybe on the skin and his hair. Actually, a lot of just slight highlights and retouching just to make him look better, just so he's going to be more impressive, especially when we're going to be displaying him in the studio. And I do hope you enjoy that. I do have other models I'm working on, bigger Titanic models I want to feature in the future. I hope you stand by and wait for those. Have a good day.